Dear brothers, it's about quality, not quantity.
So guys, it should be your conversation, where you flow, your presence enough for a woman to want to be around you, not how much money you spend.
Dear sisters, it's about knowing your value.
My sisters out there, don't be afraid to scare a guy off just because you have standards.
Dear brothers, dear sisters, it's time to come together.
Blah. Welcome to another edition of DBDS Live. Listen, I'm your host, Mel Money, and I'm here with my DBDS brother, my co-pilot, the personal life coach, my brother Carl. How you feeling today, my man?
Man, I'm doing awesome, brother. How's it going?
Woo! Listen, I'm feeling great. Listen, because the Dear Brothers, Dear Sisters website will be up and running within a few weeks, man. I'm so excited about the feeling, man, because the thing is, man, the site is going to be dedicated to people that can work on their self-image. Listen, if you have no one to talk to, or if you're looking help with your relationship issues, then the site within itself will have coaching sessions. It will have courses to unlock your potential. That's the thing that we're aiming for. Also, if you need more help with your growth, listen, we have a book out there right now called Dear Brothers, Dear Sisters, Listen Up. Make sure you get yourself a copy. This is the catalyst that can guide you in the right. So this way you can invest more into yourself. That's what it's about. And I'm excited about the website. You know, how you feel about the website? Anything you want to add, Carl?
Yeah, I definitely, like I said, it's going to be phenomenal. Said before, just the help out there for our community. We talk all the time about wanting to have sound relationships and healthy relationships for our communities, and everything is going to be in there to build that, to even take you to a place where you're able to want to date again. Sometimes we get to this place where, man, do I even want to start a relationship? We can take you from 0 to 60, with that. So that's going to be the part right there. And having that, like I said, the coaching, the different blogs that'll be on there, the motivational videos that'll be on there just to get you through the day and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's going to be phenomenal. Like I said, I tell people, just get ready.
Absolutely. I mean, the thing about the site is everything besides the coaching, which yourself is a part of, besides the courses and the book, everything is all under one hub, right? So on the Dear Brothers, Dear Sisters website, you'll even have every single episode of DBDS Live, which some of our amazing guests that have been on the show. And some of those outlets it'll be on is Amazon Music, we got you. Podbean, we got you. iHeartRadio, we got you. Spotify. So this gives you a chance to listen to these gems, spread the wisdom out there for the people. And I'm pretty, since we always touch on mature topics, today's topic may be controversial, but to all the people that are open-minded and my sisters that are looking to reevaluate themselves and reinvent themselves for a monogamous, healthy relationship, today's topic is titled The Real Qualities.
Yeah, that's going. I'm looking forward to it. It's something that you see is being talked about a lot more. It's something, we talk about feminine qualities and things like that. I always say femininity wins. It's attractive, it's sexy, it's just, being necessary, it's being who you're supposed to be as a woman. And and again, we can go back and forth. Yes, masculinity and femininity exist in both people, but which one dominates you? So sometimes we got to take a step back and hear it. And I hope the sisters definitely listen to what's being said tonight, because it's not coming from a position of putting women down. It's coming from a position of us uplifting y'all and putting you in a better position to attract what you're desiring.
Absolutely. You're going to be that little fly on the wall, my sisters. You know how us brothers, we get in that barbershop and we have these discussions about our sisters. That's going to be you today, the fly on the wall. And just to even point that out, you're going to get some gems from some well-respected brothers. So that way you can attract and see what's important to the brothers out there today. And also get that masculine man, if that's what you're looking for. Also, before we bring our guests into the studio, make sure you share this video, my people, because we're all about spreading wisdom To all the DBDS family, Alicia, I see you. Anita, I see you. Jamila, thank you so much for your support. We see you. DBDS see you. Today is going to be dope brothers and dope sisters. So with that being said, I'm ready. You ready, Carl?
Let's do it.
That's what I'm talking about. So the first guest coming into the DBDS live studio. Listen, this is his first time on. But listen, when you hear this brother speak, nothing but fire. I may just call the brother Dragon, but fire. Fire, right? Welcome, my brother Ken. Welcome to DBDS Live, man.
Fire, really? You know what, Millie Mill? All I can say is, man, I'm glad to be with you and Carl tonight. Hey, thank you so much for the compliment. But listen, I just want to be here amongst iron sharpeneth iron, and I love the fact that we all have the same mission.
Absolutely. Listen, so tell the people a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and why you're on the show today.
A little bit about me. I'm a personal development and relationship coach. I'm originally from Atlanta, Georgia, but I live in Greensboro, North Carolina. I call that home. I love it there. And what I do primarily for a living is I coach women. And I often say I coach women so that they can have healthy, happier relationships. But more importantly, I take it a step further. I help them build their personal brand so that they can attract their ideal man. And within all of that, it helps them identify who they are and what they want. It helps them to clarify and communicate the messages that they need to. And then when they get in a relationship, I actually help them identify the areas and the things that they need to improve upon by giving them knowledge and practical skills that help them every day navigate the complexities of modern day relationships.
Woo! I like that, just to get it from a different perspective, because sometimes I see the woman coach up there, such as Susan Scott, who will coach the men out there, and I see brothers as you coaching the sisters. I think that's very important to get both sides of the spectrum, right? I think that's very important. Man, it's a blessing to have you on the show, brother. Thank you once again.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Next brother coming into the DBDS live studio. He was here before, always dropping gems every day in the DBDS group. My brother, motivational speaker Lemar. Welcome back to DBDS Live, man.
Thank you for having me. What's up, Ken? What's up, Paul?
What's up, Lemar?
What's going on, guys?
Yes. So listen, we have some new viewers. So tell the people a little bit about yourself, why you're on the show today, and where you're from.
I'm from Queens, New York. I'm a motivational speaker. I also focus on relationship as well as my man Ken. I'm on the show really because I'm starting to see relationships and where they're going, and with the pandemic, with TV, with the whole social media. That's something where I'm focusing on more, because it's not just the relationships we have with the spouse, but also with our family, our friends, co-workers. So that's where I'm really targeting my audience now in that area, just to get them from a bad credit relationship to a great credit relationship. And it starts with yourself.
Absolutely, man. Everything starts with self, so it's a pleasure for you to be back on. And these two brothers right here, as well as Carl, all three brothers, man, everyone has this amazing wisdom that they bring to the table. So I appreciate you coming back on, Lemar.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Now, I believe that this is the perfect topic to touch on, because listen, my sisters out there may not have an idea on what habits that may be counterproductive, the kind of man you desire. And I'm referring to the traditional man, the kind of man who's a leader, a protector, a provider. But if you're looking for a masculine man, then today's show we are going to touch on those feminine qualities that we deem that can help you get the kind of man you're looking for. But before we dive deep into this topic, we do have an anonymous section where people post their thoughts, their issues, and they look for us to guide them in the right direction. So I have my brother Carl read a letter. Take away, my brother.
DBDS letter. Been feeling so lonely and like something is up with my boyfriend. The other day he talked about us being intimate all day long. Said we would work up the feelings to that night for excitement. Then when I get ready to come to bed, he has his back turned, earplugs in, and reading a book. I walked in naked. I tell him, "Hey, I'm here." He looks at me from the corner of his eye, quickly turns out the lights, doesn't touch me, reach for me, nothing. So I lay there and cry myself to sleep, which is becoming the norm. I wake up the same way. He doesn't try to hold me or touch my skin. If he does hold me, he has all the blankets between us. I know he has been under a lot of stress at work lately, so maybe he just doesn't want anything else right now. Usually he falls asleep on his recliner. I go to bed alone. He gets up at 4:30 a.m. to faithfully work out, so I wake up alone. Yes, I've tried telling him how I feel. He says I'm so dramatic. That shuts me down, so instead of telling him, now I just cry when I'm alone. My best friend said something to me the other day that has really stuck with me. She was asking me how I'm doing, so of course I just responded fine. Then she looks at me intently and says, no, really, how are you? I just want happiness for you, real happiness. Then she left the discussion alone. I think she knows me better than I'll admit. I don't want to feel this lonely. I don't know how to express myself anymore. And why won't he look at me naked and touch me? I know I put on a lot of weight from having our 3-year-old son, but I'm going to the gym on a consistent basis and very feminine. I'm slowly going numb. What can I do to turn my relationship around?
Whew. Well, the first thing that you are doing right is by reaching out. And we appreciate that. We appreciate the letter. See you in the chat room looking at the show. We greatly appreciate it. But don't worry, we have some great men that can give you some well-worthy advice. So first, I'm coming to my brother Ken. Listen, the sister's reaching out. How can we help her?
So the first thing, let's deal with the elephant in the room.
Okay.
If he's turning his back, I took notes here. Let's take it step by step, and I'm not going to hog the time, but I will say this much. Number one, he mentioned, hey, intimacy all day is what she said. So obviously he knows there's a problem with it because I don't have to talk about the things we don't have problems about, right? Number one. All right. Number two, he's obviously saying that because he's trying to hype himself up. And what I will say is there is a deeper issue going on here. And the deeper issue, whether he's unattracted to her right now, but there's a deeper issue that he's unwilling to talk about. So what he does is he deflects. And he deflects, I call it fogging. He puts it on something else. He puts the fog on something else. So what he says is, you're just a drama queen. You just dramatic. You're doing all these things so that I don't have to deal with the emotional trauma or the emotional issue that you have. Now, here's what the first thing I'll tell her to do. Number one is don't allow him to deflect. What I always say, address the issue that's at hand. If he says you're a drama queen, he said the reality is operate in your feminine energy. Don't raise your voice or anything. Say, listen, the truth is I'm not a drama queen, but I want to discuss this particular issue. I feel as though you're not attracted to me. Let's discuss that. And if he still is unwilling to discuss that, that tells her all she needs to know, that the truth is he isn't. And then if he isn't, let's talk about what happens next. But the first thing we have to do is we cannot let him deflect or fall and put the issue on something else. Because if we never discuss the true issue, even if it hurts, then we'll never get to the root of what's going on.
Okay. Woo, very well said. And one thing that I point out what you stated, we always have to say what we want to say, but it's how you say it. Sure. I like how you said feminine, right? How you say it, that matters the most. I'm coming to my brother Lemar. What advice you have for the sister? What's your insight?
One, I'm so sorry that you got to deal with something like this because, especially, for men, it got to be something like Ken said. It got to be something deeper that he's just not mature enough. I'm going to say that because I'm pretty sure you're mature enough to, have that conversation, or he's not mature enough right now to have that conversation. What's going on is that he's trying to convince himself like, I got to do this, but then something may be clicking that when it's time, he's nervous. Maybe something happened in the past where, maybe I was intimate and, it didn't go, he like, I want to go 10 to 20 minutes and I only went 2 minutes. And now it's his pride shut down. So to him, it's like, I don't want that. I don't want to repeat that. So I think it's something internally that's going on with him, that he thinks like, all right, I can't come out and say it, so I'm just gonna say you're a drama queen. Oh, you're overthinking it. Oh, I don't got time for this, and brush you off like it's nothing. When really the conversation, it has to happen. You have to sit down and say, listen, it's not just affecting me. This is affecting our relationship, and we're going in this relationship. And this plays a big part. The number one thing when it comes to sex is that it starts before the bedroom, before it gets to the bedroom. So if he's starting to date saying, oh, it's him all this, and he's doing all this, and then and you ready, it's go time, and he's like, I was just playing.
Just playing.
Like you that right there mentally, it affects you so much where now you're crying asleep. Now it's becoming a Monday to you because now he's on the recliner, falling asleep, you're on the bed. That's not healthy. That's not healthy for you. That's not healthy for your future. So you gotta have that what I call the naked truth. Hey, look, I'm gonna say some stuff to you that's gonna make you uncomfortable. It's gonna mess with your pride, your manhood. But I need you to say the same thing to me because it's just us two in this room. This is not a community project. This is a relationship. Let me say that again. This is a relationship, not a community project. So what goes on in this bedroom, we should be more comfortable to have that conversation than any other conversation we have in this relationship. So again, I'm sorry you got to go through this, but I truly believe you really need to sit him down and have a one-on-one conversation in the bedroom or on the bed. Have the conversation. You cry, your voice is gonna be shaky. You're gonna be stuttering. You're gonna be doing all this stuff, but you need to release what's holding you back.
Very well said. The naked truth. Express how you feel in an assertive, feminine way. Absolutely. I'm coming to my brother Carl. How can we help this sister, man?
First, I applaud you, for sending the letter in and seeking advice in this situation. I know rejection is difficult to take for anyone, and especially, I know you talked about, well, you're feeling bad because you put weight on for having a child. That comes with having a child. So don't look at yourself that way. And you said you're going to the gym, so I applaud you on that because you're taking necessary steps. Something else I just want to piggyback kind of what Ken and Lemar said too. Having that conversation, communicating, because this is not healthy for the two of you. But it's not only not healthy for the two of you, it's not healthy for your child. Because your child is 3 years old. Your child is going to pick up on the tension. Your child's going to pick up on things that are not normal right now. They're going to take up that you're emotional because of what you're dealing with. He's emotional because of what he's dealing with. So you guys have got to fix this situation. And it may really come down to a place of having that one-on-one with him and then involving a third party with y'all, a counselor, a coach, somebody that can help you guys through this situation. There are sex therapists. There's all different types of things once you figure out what's going on. I pray it's nothing medical he's dealing with and he's feeling bad about himself. Sometimes a man's confidence gets rocked. And if it gets rocked in the bedroom, as Lemar was saying, sometimes a man's confidence can be shot for a long time and he doesn't want to go back where he lost his confidence at. He's got to get back there, but you may need to involve a third person. And if he's not willing to get that type of help, you're going to have to make some decisions at this point in time. Focus on you. You need to go to counseling individually by yourself. If he doesn't want to go, so that you can be the best mother and best person, and so you can be the best mother for your child. So that's something to think about there if he refuses to go. But, hopefully he'll be open to that. And then you guys can have a sit down, conversation and somebody can walk you through what's going on there. But definitely, like I said, ask, see what's going on. You gotta pick his brain apart. And I think the bedroom, I call it this way, the scene of the crime. I think that's the best place to have this conversation, just see where he's at, work, is he undue stress, whatever it is, try to figure, without badgering him, but just kind of stay in your femininity as you talked about you're doing, and just ask certain questions and see if he'll be willing to open up and talk to you, and go from there, that one-on-one, and then say, hey, let's bring, let's go to counseling, so that we can make sure we can make this relationship work, because it sounds like that's what you want. And the fact that he can talk about being intimate all day means he does want to, he just can't get over the hump. No pun intended. But that's my best advice right there.
Yeah. I mean, very good points that you all brought up. I mean, it sounds like to me that the relationship is going through a complexity phase, like the passion has decreased dramatically. And my first step, sister, I would advise for you to, as everyone stated, as well as Ken, express yourself and communicate to them in a feminine manner, because, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. So, the key word he stated was you're always dramatic. That to me is the key sign that, keep your voice level calm, relax, being your feminine. The next thing I would say, don't come abrupt, but let him know how his lack of affection has been affecting you, and also be willing to listen to what he has to say, right? But I just feel like anytime the passion is low between two individuals, I usually recommend to do things that attracted you both to begin with, to bring that spark, that passion back to life. Also with the gaining the weight after having a child is pretty normal. So I will also recommend to work out together. And if he's interested, I'm sure that he wouldn't mind. I mean, as long as you guys can come to that agreement, but just right now, that bedroom talk that everyone stated is very important. This is something that you can't just brush underneath the rug. You have to get to the heart of the matter, because you two have both reached a threshold. And sometimes I like to call it a relationship tune-up. It's almost like you bring your car to Mobile One to get that oil change. I think right now at this moment, every relationship sometimes go through this. So you need that relationship tune-up. So that's what I would recommend. The next thing too is, listen, if this brother rejects all your ideas, refuse to listen, refuse to compromise, then non-verbally, that would tell you how he sees the relationship as well as yourself. And as Carl stated, that may be a time that you may need to reevaluate the relationship and focus on you. All right. But I still think there's hope in this relationship. And I just want to thank you again for your letter. All right. So thank you again. And now we're going to go ahead and pivot to the show. Before doing so, I'm going to just pull up some comments though. First comment here.
From Teresa Harris. Hi, gentlemen. Teach Coach Ken.
Absolutely.
I will, Teresa. Thank you.
Speaking of that, I'm going to come back to my brother Ken. Anything else you want to add?
I just wanted to add one thing. And
Sure.
I think this is a key that we're missing here. And not missing, that I want to interject. That men don't change their behavior unless something changed. Now, listen to what I'm just saying. Men don't change their behavior unless something changed in his psyche, in his emotions. Something changed if he changed. So none of us, and this is what I'm saying, if you guys were having sex, if you were intimate and you're not intimate, that means something changed. And so what, either he doesn't want to address it because it makes the situation emotional, but you got to understand, if he changed, there was something about his psyche that changed. And I don't know what that is. What I always tell people, I said, listen, if a man ceased to doing what he's doing, then something came and was stimuli that caused him to do that. And that's what I just wanted to say that.
Very well said, brother. Very well said. Something has occurred, and that's where the diagnosis of the relationship tune-up need to come into play, I feel. Yes. Next comment here.
Naomi said, if seeing her hurting does not hurt him, there's a bigger problem. Just me, though.
Okay. Yeah, that's like that mirror reflection. You got to see that's where the hard conversation has to come into play. And I'm just going to pull up something quick. The sisters are listening today. They got their ears, wide open.
Mm-hmm.
Some people got their wine
glass.
People taking notes. We appreciate that. We appreciate that. So we're going to go ahead and pivot to our show, the real qualities of a feminine woman. And the first topic that we're going to touch on is, man, nurture his soul. I'm telling you, this is so important. It reminds me of that song from Destiny's Child. Let me cater to you. You know, if you have a good man, you know, nurture his soul. So this is my thoughts on this. A woman who has, I feel, the nurturing instinct shows that she has the ability to apply that natural affection to her man, which not only relax him and diffuse any negative energy that he's going through in the world, but it also has that effect to propel him to the next level when he has that nurturing feeling, right? So I'm coming to my brother Lemar. What are your thoughts on this particular topic?
I think that's the most important thing. It's one of the most important things in a relationship where a woman can just right off the bat just know something is wrong. Versus her saying, what's your problem? Why are you mad? Are you acting funny? Why are you quiet? Rather than starting it there, I think if you know your man, you know that something is off with him because his vibe is never like that. So come to him and talk. Sometimes like a regular conversation of, hey, how's your day going? How you feeling? Like really, how are you feeling? Like, is this something you need to vent? Is this stuff that you need to get off your chest? Is it, what's going on in your mind? Is it, things that's going on in your past that keeps coming up? Whatever it is, like sometimes dig deep into what we deal with as men. Sometimes we could be just driving to work or driving or sitting on the couch and something just comes back in our mind about childhood or situations that happen. And sometimes when a woman is next to us and they feel that vibe, we get defensive because how they already talk to us, how they already said something. So I think the best thing is for you to just, sometimes just make us feel safe in a way of us having a conversation or expressing our feelings. Because we were always taught, don't cry, your boy, get up, shake it off. And it's like we lost how to actually be, human. And it's not fair to us. So when we do that, we want to make sure that we're in a safe space and a safe environment so we can feel safe to have those conversations. But it really starts with how you approach us.
Okay. Very well said, brother. Very, very well said. I'll even take it a step further. Like, I think nurturing from a biological standpoint of view shows that woman will be an excellent mother. That's one of the qualities that I noticed in my woman when I first met her. She was very nurturing and very feminine, and I knew she was going to be an amazing mother. She wasn't like, So I'm coming to my brother Ken. What are your thoughts on this topic?
So one of the thoughts that I have, and I teach my ladies in my group, I say men don't commit to you and grow with you based on what you do for them. Okay. Men commit to you and grow with you based on who you are to them. Now, and so many women think that if I'm that ride or die chick, if I get his clothes, if I take care of his kids, if I give him as much sex, as many ways as possible, that he's going to commit to me and grow with me. But the truth is that men don't do it based on that. They do it based on who you are to them, who you represent. And then what I tell them is every woman that's with a man, if you want to grow with that man, your job in the nurturing process is to make the man want to be a better version of himself. You see what I'm saying? So if a woman can drive a man, y'all know this, all of us been there. A woman can get you to do things you would never do on your own. A woman can get you to jump out there and make you think you Superman. A woman can do things and nurture you in a way that makes you want to be better. If you're not making your man want to be better, then you're not nurturing him in the way that's going to lead to growth. And that's the thing I'm saying.
That's what I'm talking about. I always say that a woman's inspiration can propel a man's actions. Yes. That inspiration is like gasoline to the car. And once you put that in, You're off. You're off. So I'm coming to my brother Carl. What are your thoughts on this topic? Oh, you mute, Carl. You mute.
You got
There
me.
you go.
Okay.
There you go.
Lemar and Ken, y'all set the table on this. So, Ken, you said it best. If a woman is not nurturing her man to be better, the problem is she's being his mother. And see, there's a difference between nurturing and mothering. And so, look at my notes here real quick. So when you're mothering your man, you're actually manipulating and controlling him.
Right.
Wow.
Because you're trying to steer him. It's just the way you mother your children. You're trying to get them to do a certain thing. But if you're nurturing him, you're inviting him in, which is an open flow. So it's just like if a man's sick, you don't walk up to him and say, "Here's his medicine, take it." That's what a mother does. But if you walk up and say, "You don't feel well, is there anything I can help you with or give you?" Two totally different things. The first is mothering, the second is nurturing. So if you're mothering him and trying to be his mother and trying to dictate to him what needs to be done, you're not nurturing him. There is a big difference there. You know, if you're telling him, "Hey, if you ain't doing this, this, and this, and this, you're not going to be this. You know, you're not going to get there." That's not nurture. That's what a parent does to their child. So you got to be careful in understanding there's a difference between nurturing and mothering. For men, you know, just being honest, most men want their women and their families, their wives and their families, to have everything. They want y'all. We want y'all to have everything. So in nurturing a man, he's going to go out. Just like I think Kim saying, you know, Lemar was saying, go out and be Superman. It's going to go out and do whatever because you're giving him that support. You're giving him that what he doesn't have in himself to a point. You're giving him that. You're reaffirming him. You're reassuring him in the things he needs to do. But when you start dictating to him where you think you're nurturing, why I need to tell him what to do, now you move into a mother role, and at that point you begin to hinder his growth. And then once you hinder your husband's growth or your man's growth, you now stunt the relationship part of it because he can't grow anymore.
Whew. Okay. Facts. So I have a follow-up question on this one because, you know, the premises of today's show is to look out for our sisters, right? To give them those gems so they can get the kind of man. So what about a man, some of these brothers out here, which I don't agree with, they want the woman to do everything, man. They want the woman to be the protector, the provider, every single thing underneath the pillars, right? Sometimes I think our sisters get caught up nurturing the wrong man. They do fall into those mother and child relationships. So, Carl, I'll come to you. What would you tell a sister? How can she tell the difference between a man that's really nurturing, you know, the right man for her to nurture his soul compared to a man that's taking advantage of her? Like, do everything, you know, the man just, how can you tell the difference?
If he's got vision, you know, you want a man that's got vision and purpose.
Okay.
You want a man that's got drive. You know, if he doesn't have vision, purpose, and drive, he's no good. You know, I always go back to the dating. You gotta have the interview process. You gotta ask those questions. You know, and if he's not including, if he's not saying we in his vision, you're not part of the vision. You're just gonna be his mommy. Literally, you can't nurture that man because he's not saying we in the vision. He's not saying, well, I see us, even if he's starting a business and that's his vision. And he's like, you know, when I get us here, you know, you hear the us, when I get us here and with the business, when we get here with the business, that's a whole different ball game. But if he's saying, well, once I get my business here, you know, then we can look at what you want to do. You know, that's not including you in the vision. So make sure you got a man that's got vision, purpose, and drive. That's a man you can nurture. Anybody else? Get the bottle milk ready.
Woo. Okay. You know, this show, man, the sisters are listening. They're in the barbershop. They're that fly on the wall listening to us drop some gems. So I'm coming to my brother Lemar, man. how can a sister tell the difference? Because there are some men out there that take advantage of a woman's emotions. And sometimes a woman feel like if I nurture, then hopefully he'll change to that right man that I'm looking for, you know. And 9 out of 10 that does not work. I mean, I'll say 10 out of 10 that does not work. So what are your thoughts to help our sisters out here?
If you have a man like that, run. Just run. Really run. But really, honestly, the habits. What is he doing? Is he getting up? Is he getting up and really setting the tone for the day? You know, his work, his family, his health. Listen, we like Carl said, we. You know, me and you equal us. You know, what's our weekly goal? What's our monthly goal? What are we trying to accomplish? We can chase money and we'll always be broke. But if we chase that lifestyle, we're always pushing each other. So that's one, that's things that you need to have in a relationship. If he goes in there in the first month or the first couple of months, he's a great guy, and something hits the floor, hits the fan, and now he's just in a depression. It takes him to get out that depression. You can support him and you can coach him and do it, but it all starts with him. You have to sit there and monitor him. That safety net is gone when he gets in that relationship. He's building this lifestyle with you. So those things are I'm gonna do this, and you do that. Don't ever put yourself in a bad way. Like I always say, don't ever lower your standards. Make him step his up.
Okay. I mean, it's too many of our sisters giving credit to not credible men out there, and we want to try to help them as much as possible. Same question, Ken. I mean, how can you tell the difference between the right man? Hey, that's the man that he's worthy of being. To these brothers out there, shoot your shot, protect me, take me out, do this, do that. Like, how can you tell, man?
So I'm gonna take it a little different way. I'm gonna take it I'm gonna veer off a little bit.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say, here's where I'm gonna look at it. I often tell people we don't attract what we want, we attract who we are. Okay.
Right.
Now, if you're attracting a man like that, there's some part of you with the women, there's some part of you that wants to take care of a man, because maybe there's an unhealed area in your life that says, I need to mother someone. I need to take care of this person. I need to be needed. And so what happens is, the first thing is, a person has to identify what's in them that keeps attracting this man, if they've attracted this type of guy more than once, because there is something in me that needs that. We attract who we are. So what I'm saying is, there's something in that woman that says, you know what, it's okay. I have a need to be needed. So I take care of this guy. I do everything for him. I do his clothes. I do this and I do that. And what happens is like Carl, I go back to what Carl says, which is great. He says, no, you don't want to nurture. You want to be their mother. Okay. But that comes from an unhealed place. And so if we don't look at the healing that we need, that we need as a woman, that she needs, then she's gonna keep picking the same kind of guy, because it's in her. It's in her. A woman who empowers a man doesn't take care of him. Do you follow what I'm saying? She gives him the power to do it himself. And that's part of the issue there.
Woo! I always state that relationships are reflective, and sometimes I hear our sisters out there that, the old term, like, if there's lemonade, make lemon out of lemonades. But if you can, there's a variety of different fruits out there, right? There's pears, there's cherries, there's apples. You just have to reprogram your mind. You have to reinvent and reevaluate yourself. I have some really good comments. The people are in today. So I'll come to this comment right here first from our sister Naomi. Go ahead, Carl.
It said, so if we bypass the men with no vision and purpose, we are ostracized and called gold diggers. What gives? So Naomi, let me rephrase. Okay. I understand why you asked that question, but here's the problem. A man, we're talking about a man with vision, purpose, and drive. We're not talking about his wallet. Because as I said before, the right woman with the right man will increase a man's income earning potential 4 times.
Yes.
So if you got a man that's making $40,000 a year, but he's got drive, vision, and that purpose with him, and you're the right person, you can take him to 160,000. That's not being a gold digger. But when you're looking at a man and saying, well, if you're not making $95,000 to $100,000, I'm not dealing with you. If you don't have a 5-bedroom house already, I'm not dealing with you. See, to me, gold diggers are those that want something that they don't even come with themselves also on top of that. Or you have an expectation of wanting something and that's already built and not willing to build with it. So there's your difference on that. So yeah, a gold digger, she's just looking for the guy driving the Maybach. He's got $1 million home. The 6-figure died. That's all she wants. If he ain't making 6 figures, I'm not talking to him. But if you got a guy, you can have a guy that's got like I said, making $40,000 a year, but he's got purpose, drive, and vision. He just needs the right that 8th rib to lock in, and now he's at 160, 200,000. So
yeah, that's a really great question. First, I got to drop the bomb. That was pretty hot what you stated. I mean, the thing is, my whole thing is, you always want to put character first before money, before popularity. Character should be the primary essence whenever you're out there, discovering the type of man. Because just a quick story, Denzel Washington and Pauletta Washington, Denzel wasn't this big movie star before he got involved, man. This guy was struggling doing Broadway plays. Pauletta seen that vision, and at that time, she had more money. But she knew his character. He was ambitious and everything. And all that emotional fuel, that nurturing. Now look at the brother. Just look. I mean, your theory is proven correct, Carl. I'm coming to you, Ken, based on that question from our sister, and I'll pull up her comment again. We'll go to other comments, but she said, if we bypass the men with no vision and purpose, we are ostracized and called gold diggers. What gives?
So Naomi is a very smart lady, and she's very successful. And I understand what the dilemma is. I mean, she feels like, on one hand, if I bypass the guy with vision, but here's my take. And I like what Carl said. It's not about money, but and I want to piggyback on what I simply say is, listen, let's start with the 2 C's. And you know what my 2 C's are, Naomi. First, it's collect, then connect. So in the collecting phase, I'm collecting data. I'm going out, I'm dating. Let me see if his core values are similar to mine. Let me see if his visions are similar to mine. Because the problem is 2 good people don't mean they good together. And see, we think because 2 people are good, they'll be good together. That's a misnomer. And so what we should do is take the time to collect enough data to see if this person is in alignment with me. And then I go to the connection phase. So, the connection phase, now we can connect. But what happens is most people just want to jump to the connection phase. And when you jump to the connection phase, you bypass the collecting phase. And when you bypass the collecting phase, let me tell you what happens. You end up a year from line and say, damn, this person ain't who I thought they were. And that's the problem. And so as long as you do that part, Naomi, you won't have the problem with the other stuff, the vision and purpose and all that stuff, because you will learn all of that in the collection phase.
Yeah, absolutely. Very well said, brother. Coming to my man Lemar. Man, we're just on one topic, but I'll come to you, Lemar. Do you want to touch on Naomi's comment? I'll pull it up again, and we'll go to some other comments.
I agree with Carl and Ken. I really agree, and I think it's how you structure how you lay out your foundation. I was, in the dating world, I would present myself with, I got money. And when it's like, oh, well, you come like that, then that's how I'm going to treat it. But when I met my wife, I had no money. And my wife, when I was going to school, I'm working full time. I'm doing school full time. She saw something I didn't see. And looking back, and I'm saying, she used to wait for me when I got out of class at 11. Okay. She used to give me money for lunch because she only had $20 after I paid over the bill. Like she used to help pack lunch for me. All this stuff that she saw, like I know his direction. He has a vision. He has a purpose. And his drive, I never saw nothing like this. So her was like, I'm gonna stick around. I'm gonna give you an opportunity. If you messed up, all I did was waste time. Because I can always make money. She always say that. I can always make money, but I can't make time. And from that point, and then 13 years later, my wife is like, money don't amuse me. So whatever the type of money I make now, she's like, that doesn't, you can lose it tomorrow. But the respect that you give me, the love that you give me, the way you treat me, that's something I can't go buy. Macy's don't sell that. I can't get that on a Ross or Clarence. So I think honestly, it's just really laying out your foundation from day one, laying it out and making sure like, hey, this has to stay. It can't be on the stairs. It has to be on gravity. Don't base your relationship on a stair.
Here's my thing, my sisters. You don't want to set yourself up in a trap where if you're putting money as the primary focus, it may set you up in a trap with the wrong man. Because my thing is that man could use that money as a way to manipulate your emotions, your feelings, and everything like that. It's easy for financial wolf. I call them financial wolves out there to drop money down and take advantage of you. But for a good catch, a masculine man, he's going to put in the effort to take the time to get to know you. He's not going to just throw money at you. All right. So let me just pull up some other comments, man. This is such an awesome show. Let's go next comment right here from Jamila.
I had to learn that 100% with nurturing his soul.
Okay. Appreciate that. Next comment from Jamila.
What'd she say? She said, preach, Ken. Yes.
All right. She caught the Holy Ghost. All right. Next comment from my man, Eric.
Eric said, money, positions, and success has replaced femininity.
Ooh. All right. Before we even go to a commercial break, and it may be only a last commercial break, but I want to touch on that right quick. I'll come to you, Carl. Do you feel that money, position, and success has replaced the natural feminine essence?
I believe it has. Only in I say that because that's both sides lead with that. It's unfortunate. What do you do? What is your position? What do you have? And you have a lot of people who you have a lot of women who look at what men have. I always talk about the 6 figures, 6 pack, 6 feet type of thing. And I think they're losing that, where, okay, I'm going to go ahead and make my money. I'm going to get this position. I'm going to go ahead and be successful. And truly, it's happened more in our community, the African-American community, and any other community, where a lot of our women are being taught to do without a man.
Yes.
So it takes away from their femininity, because then they and again, I'm gonna give a quick example and moving to guys. We always hear that because a woman is a single mother, she has to operate in her masculinity to take care of the children. But
okay,
I was a single father, and I didn't operate in my femininity to take care of my children. So there are women choosing to operate into their masculinity. And then they're saying, I don't know how to get out of it, but they've chosen to go that route. I'm not choosing to operate my femininity to be the mother in the role. It's like saying the women saying Happy Father's Day to themselves. It's something that's become pragmatic especially in our community, where it is taught you don't need a man. Go out, get you a job, go to college, be successful. If you get one, great. If you don't, it's no big deal. And that's a masculine way of looking at it, not realizing that most people are not going to be able to retire, even if they're by themselves, off of that one income and be successful. down the road.
Okay, very well said, man. Coming to you, Lemar, do you think money, as well as everything else my man Eric brought up, money, position, and success has replaced femininity?
I have to agree. I agree. In some areas, money has. I mean, so much stuff that you're trying to accomplish, stuff that you're trying to do. I think, but also there's like a gray area in that because at some point when you're like Carl said, 6 figures, 6 feet, everything. At some point, you got to look back and say, I make 6 figures guaranteed. Wake up, I'm making this money. I wake up, I'm my own boss, or I'm in a position where, really no one could tell me anything. But then at that point, it's like, you ask yourself, is that really, now what? You ask yourself, now what? Where do I go here? So now you have all this money. So your main focus now is really finding real love, not money love. That's what I call when people just, we doing this. Oh, that's money love. When you find real happiness and you find your health, and that's when you start focusing, your life around. Like, I want to live so I can enjoy this 6-7 figure money, and I can live this lifestyle. So I think it's important where now you start finding what's important to you, when you get to that point where money is really not, your main focus. It's a focus, but it's not your main focus.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, man. You don't want to, come across the brother like my man in what's that Tyler Perry movie, The Diary of a Black Woman? The brother he was very successful, but he was a financial wolf. And you saw how he was treating the sister, right? I'm coming to you, Ken. Do you agree with my brother Eric as far as
I'm gonna be the contrarian again. No, I don't believe money, position, and success has replaced femininity. Here's what I do believe. Okay. I believe that, like Carl said earlier, all of us have masculine and feminine energy, right? I feel like they don't know how to balance their masculine and feminine energy. The problem is not that you have it. The problem is you don't know how to balance it. You don't know when to use. So now I've assumed this masculine energy, that is the prevalent energy when I go into the workplace, when I go out there, I'm making this money, I'm in this position, because let's be honest, in the world that we're in, masculine energy prevails in the business world a lot of times. You gotta have that, you gotta be that boss bitch to make this money. Right. The problem is that she doesn't know when to turn it off. She doesn't know how to balance it. So it's not that the position of the money is taking the place. It's just that because I've operated in that realm for so long, my natural realm of femininity, I'm not used to it. I'm not accustomed to it. I'm not used to balancing that when I get home. And so that's more or less the problem, rather than the positions, the money, and all of that. Because there are some women who make money, who are in the position, and they know how to balance it when they get home.
Yes. Oh. Very well said. Very well said. Listen, I'm going to go to this next comment, then afterwards we'll go to a commercial break, but I think it's needed to be looked into. Okay, Carl. Oh, Carl can't hear you, brother.
I'm sorry.
There you go.
Stay muted. It says, what about the women who want a man for, I guess it should be for them, but the man feels like he needs more money because of what she brings to the table, especially if she's not asking for anything except his time.
I have you your thoughts on that, Carl, on her comment. I'll leave a comment up too.
Yeah, I see what she's saying. And that's a confidence thing. Also, it's an insecurity thing. You do have to realize it comes from an aspect too of there was a comment made, I think that sometime this week in the group on something where, because a guy worked in a warehouse, he was not trying to do his best and he was just a low life type of thing. And when you got men kind of being said certain things like that, it's difficult to date a woman making more money. It takes a real masculine man to date a woman who is making more money than him. It takes a man who's confident in himself. It takes a man who is sure of himself. Every man's not going to do that. But see, you can't. But you have women who will turn around and throw that money in their face. Well, I'm making more than you. You're supposed to be the head. I've heard women say, "Hey, if you're not making $1 more than me, you can't lead the household." Oh, and that's so this is what's put in the atmosphere. And so you have a lot of men that are like, well, we're being told for us to be the provider, protector, or we're not being masculine because we're allowing our wife to make more money than us or our girlfriend to make more money than us. So how can we lead the relationship? That's a problem, Right. So this is why it's hard for this is why a lot of men say, hey, I got to make more than you. And there's real data out there dealing with this stuff, who's making what. But that is for me in a nutshell. That's why you'll see a lot of men say they won't date a certain woman because she's making certain things, especially if she doesn't know how to turn off her masculinity.
Okay. Very well said. This is why the key component for me is the character portion. That is so important. Like, if my wife was making more than me, we wouldn't never see it as it's your money and my money. We see it as our money. We don't parallel the two. It's ours, and she respects the fact that I am a leader and she loves the support. She's my counsel. You know what I'm saying? So that's the view we see things. Lemar, I'll have you give your insight on this comment right here whenever you get a chance to.
I think really just leaving that comment over. We gotta go back where like Paul said, money plays a big factor in it. And marriage, that's one of the number one reasons why people get divorced.
Sorry, Lemar, we're having a hard time hearing you, brother.
Do you hear me?
A little better now. Go ahead.
So what I was saying is that money plays a huge part in a relationship. And the number one reason why people get divorced is because of finance. So for a man to feel like, my confidence is low because I work at a warehouse and I'm only making $10 and she works at a corporate job and she's bringing in, 6 figures, really, did you get into this relationship for the money? Did you, let's be honest. If money is really an issue, if really you can't kiss her, you feel you want to have an attitude with her, you want to stonewall her because you're not making that money, why did you get in a relationship? Like what was the reason? So when you catching these attitudes and you stonewalling her and you being nasty to her, that means you're with her for the money. You're not with her to be with her. And this is what, and women as well. Don't think because you make, I'm just saying, $10 an hour and he got a corporate job, well, you feel like, oh, he has to pay for everything because he makes more money. So again, you're in this for the money. So again, we go back to what I said recently. That's sin. Your relationship is sin. And what happens when bottles in sin? Washes away. But if you lay out that foundation with that gravel, I promise you, that $10 that he making today, he could be making $20, $30. He could be a CEO tomorrow. So don't base your relationship. Don't base that off what money is. Money should never be an issue. You come together. We got bills. We got things we want to do. We want to go on vacation. Oh, Carl, you make this amount of money, you should pay for the vacation. Then I'm gonna go by myself. So this is so my advice to you is that don't base your relationship on money. Move that out of the equation. Slowly. And I'm not saying go cold turkey, but slowly. Or put it all in one pot. whatever works for you, but make it work without money.
Okay. Here's the thing: when money does become the issue of the relationship, it's like you're competing with your significant other. It's not a team. It's almost as if she's playing for a different high school. You're playing for a different high school. You guys are not. You're competing with each other, and that within itself can destroy a relationship. I'll come to you, Ken, to get your insight on this comment right here.
Well, the comment as I read it is not with the woman, it's with the man. Because whoever wrote this says, what about the woman who wants a man for him, but feels like he needs more money? So it's something in him. Mm-hmm. So, but she just wants quality time with him. And there are a lot of women out there that feel that way. You know what? The truth is, I don't care how much money you make, because the truth is they also realize that money can't make them happy. All right. Right. And so the issue is not the money, it's the insecurity in the man. And so, like, what happens with men a lot of times, me included, what we do is we attach our value to the amount of money we make. So it's not who we are, it's what we do. That's a flawed process. It's a flawed thinking process, because what if I'm making $300,000 a year today and it goes away? Am I less valuable than I was yesterday? Because yesterday I had a job making $300,000. Tomorrow I had a job making nothing. No, I'm not less valuable. I'm still the same valuable guy that it was. But so the issue is not that. The issue is I'm tying my value to the money I make, which leads to insecurity, because now I look at you and you make more money than me. So it means that I feel like I'm less valuable than you. That's the problem. And in essence, the insecurity and devaluing yourself or valuing yourself based on money. I'll give you this quick story, y'all. I remember years ago, I made more money than my wife, and we never tripped because we put all our money together. But I remember I had to take off about a year because I got my health in order. I was on the reality show, The Biggest Loser. I never forget it. And I had to turn away $75,000 to $100,000 worth of business. My wife, okay, now to this day, she'll tell you, my wife took up the slack. She worked 2 jobs. She said, get your health together. Work out twice a day, whatever you got to do, because the show wasn't paying me that much money. She said, you do it. And all she did was lay the money on my desk. And one day I sat there in tears, but I said to myself, I didn't devalue myself because I wasn't doing it at the time. I simply said, that's my partner. And because just like you, just a male like you and Carl are partners, that was my partner. And my partner took up the slack when I couldn't. I wasn't less valuable. No, at the end of the day, that's what happens, but it's based on, but you have to come to the table whole. And Carl talks about that a lot of being healed. You have to come to the table whole, and some men aren't whole, and they're attaching their value to what they do. And when that goes away, the value goes away.
Woo! Woo! Fire. You're absolutely right, man. And to me, I call that false confidence. I remember helping one of my clients that rented a car from Budget for 2 days, parked it in front of the club just to try to get as much attention as he can from the sisters. Then the next day he got his bus pass riding the bus. You can't do that. I'm not making this up.
Are you serious, man?
I'm serious, brother. And that's false. That's false confidence. And a lot of our brothers do that. They lead with their wallet instead of leading with the intellect, leading with that ambition and confidence, right? Man, I don't think we should take a commercial break. This is pretty dope. I'll come to my sister Jamila's comment. Ooh, we need to get you on the show, sister. Go ahead.
Let me read it from my phone because this part of it's cut off. Yeah, it says, bottom line, a man isn't supposed to be alone, and a woman isn't supposed to be alone. This is not how we were made to be. We were meant to fellowship. Husband, wife, your lifelong mate, period, with a T. Money isn't everything and won't at the end of the day make any woman or man happy. When you go outside to be a beast, but when you get home, be a woman and cook your man a meal, clean that house, take that seed and make a forest grow. Be feminine. Don't try to take on the masculinity part of a relationship. If need be, then do so, but don't overstep him. We can't get upset that he's not being masculine if he can't. if you're doing it all.
Okay, Jamila, we're gonna have to drop a bomb for you. Fire. And we'll come to one more comment before, and I appreciate you all rocking with us. I know we're over time, but we're gonna keep this flowing because these are the kind of conversations that we need to have in our community. I just think is very, very important. Come to my sister Naomi.
She said, "How do you date without money? I mean, coffee is $5. LOL."
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. My first date with my wife, you know, at the time, my girl, just getting to know her. The first date, we actually split a Subway sub, and we walked around Middletown for an hour, sharing our coladas together. And she told me that was the best date she ever been on, compared to all these other men taking her out to the expensive restaurants based on her looks. And I knew right there she was the one.
Wow.
Right there, I knew she was the one. Listen. We're going to go ahead and take a commercial break. Listen, I know this is only one topic, but sit tight to all my people. This is DBDS Live. Don't your ass go anywhere. All right.
So many people are calling for police reform. And so because they're calling for police reform, they may not understand that there are many organizations who are already responding.
And I feel like you have to really get to know people, see if they share the same core values as you before you get involved with them.
I want to ask a question as to how we got to this place right here, where mask wearing, where COVID-19, where public health is all politicized. I really want you all to think about this. How did we get to this particular point?
It's really a nice balance when femininity and masculinity can mix together and just create this awesome, experience.
Are you single? Do you know about DBDSsingles.com? Are you ready to meet a quality man or classy woman? The DBDS brothers want you to know that love and loyalty still exists. So if you're ready to meet relationship-ready people, sign up today at DBDSsingles.com. Let's make love and loyalty dope again.
Woo! Welcome back to the DBDS Live Studio. I'm here with my brother Ken, my brother Lemar, my brother Carl. And listen, we just been chopping it up. We've been giving some great wisdom as well as the audience. And today's show is titled The Real Qualities of a Feminine Woman. Before we get going, man, I'm going to give some shout outs on the Facebook. Our people's watching the show. So a special shout out to Jamila. Thank you for all your amazing comments, as well as Naomi. Shout out to Nate Carter. Special shout out to Teresa. Thank you so much, my DBDS sister. Shout out to Jess Marie, to Craig Cuffy. Appreciate you watching the show. Gabriella, thank you for tuning in. My sister Quiv Evans. My man Gotham from Bangalore, India, on the other side of the world watching the show. Shout out to you, man. We appreciate that. So listen, we're going to continue to have this show flowing, going, because this is such an amazing topic that we got to hit on, you know. So the next topic that we're going to hit on about the real qualities of a feminine woman is, boom, allow him to lead. And I'm going to put the picture up right quick. Allow him to lead. I cannot tell you how serious this is, because listen, if you allow him to lead, and especially if he's the right man, that's going to avoid those mother and child relationships. So let me go ahead and size this up right quick. So my thing is that when you notice a man taking the lead, right? When you notice him taking the lead, it's very important to take your foot off the gas pedal. It's very important for you to take your hands off the steering wheel. And what this means is that he should be the one initiating the relationship and making the moves necessary to cultivate the intimacy. You know, allow him to put in that effort so you can see what kind of man he is. Don't just give your all to the wrong man that we just stated earlier. All right. So first, I'm coming to my brother Lemar. What are your thoughts on this particular topic?
Allow him to lead. That was something definitely I was saying to myself. Just looking back at my my wife conversation and say, listen, I'm allowed to leave this house, leave, this family, but also just keep in mind that, I do have opinions. And so I think, for the women, most definitely allow him to leave, but make sure it's respectful. And when I say that, if it's you get your idea and he has his idea, just say, all right, we both have two different looks on it. Okay, we're going to use your plan first, and if it don't work, we're going to use mine. But respectfully, like come together as one, and just be like, hey, we're going to start with yours, and sometimes step back and just say, see if it works. I always say, 1 + 4 is 5, and 2 + 2 is 5. So we have to learn to just really sometimes let us lead, and if we're wrong, don't beat us up about it. We're human. We're gonna make mistakes, but be our backbone. Be the person that catches us and say, "All right, babe, that didn't work. Let's try it this way." Because we're a team. We're a team, and we are stronger together than separate. I'm gonna say that again. We're stronger together than separate. It's a we. It's a us. It's not a me or you. It's a us thing. To us.
I think what trips up a lot of our sisters out there, sometimes they don't know the difference between a man being controlling and one that's leading. It's a huge difference between the two. Huge difference. I'm coming to my brother Ken. What are your thoughts on this topic?
I have a little different take. And so here's my take. What is the one thing that all leaders have? The one thing all leaders have, and people go into, some are direct, some are this, some are that. And I said, the one thing that all leaders have is followers. Every leader, despite how they lead, they have followers. And so when I teach my men that I coach, I said, every leader that people follow, they've earned the right to lead. They've earned that right. And so every man, it's his responsibility to earn the right to lead by the way he's in position doing what he's supposed to be doing. Now, because a lot of us are not in position to do what we're supposed to be doing. Now, when he earns that right, damn it, the woman, get out of your masculine energy. All right? If he's earned the right to lead, not based on because you believe you need to be in your masculine energy, you need to be, then what happens is the man needs to lead. And from my perspective, okay, simply mine. But what I'm saying is, but I understand the fact of women nowadays saying they don't want to follow a man who leads them into a ditch. I get that.
Right.
We all make mistakes though. But when the man has earned the right to lead, and how do you know he's earned the right to lead? Here's how you know. Number one, he's willing to make the hard decisions. That's number one. He's willing to make the hard decisions. Number two, he's willing to stand by the decisions and be accountable for the outcomes. When he does that, when he does those two things, he's earned the right to lead. And you have to, and I think you should follow. And I don't think you need to operate in this masculine energy all the time, which creates divisions. It can't be but one leader. Y'all, let's be honest. It can't be but one leader. And you out there trying to lead, you out there undermining him, and it's your team. That shit makes no sense.
Man, can you just imagine, and I'll use this as an analogy, the Chicago Bulls and all these great dynasties that led their teams to these championships. It wasn't two leaders, it was like usually just one making tough decisions. Can you imagine two leaders with two different perspectives? They'll be bumping heads.
Sure.
But here's the other thing. Can you imagine two people being submissive and it's not going anywhere? One has to be more assertive than the other. That's the balance. I'm coming to my brother Carl. What are your thoughts on this topic?
I agree with both Ken and Lemar said. Definitely. When that man, I don't necessarily like to say earn, but when you got to give him a chance. And I think this is number one, women. When you meet a man, give him an opportunity to lead. Because if your thing is he's got to prove to you sometimes, you start making him jump through hoops. You start making him play games that he doesn't need to be playing. So a lot of men to lead. And again, I say this all the time too. A lot of women want a man to lead until he's not going the direction you want to go. But if he's got a vision and he's leading that way, you don't have a right to steer him someplace else. I use this as an example. If you guys have been married several years and he prays and he's like, God's telling us to do this, and everything is going well, he comes home and says, the Lord told me for us to move to the middle of Montana. You can't buck up and say, I'm not moving. God ain't spoke to me. That don't work. That's not the time for you to you can't take the reins away at that point in time. And that's what happens a lot of times in a relationship where the man's leading, but he's not leading the way you want him to, or you feel he's supposed to lead. As long as he's not, like I said, taking you into the proverbial ditch, let the man lead, and compliment. When you get a man that's willing to take the lead and take the accountability and stand by his decision, he's making the tough decisions, give him affirmation on that. Thank him for that. Because from what we're hearing, there's a lot of women saying there's not men out there taking the lead. So if you got a guy doing that, say, hey, I appreciate you, you taking the lead and doing this, and this. I'm telling you, it goes a long way. Affirmations to men. I'm trying to tell you that. And if he's not leading, again, not according to the way you want him to lead, but you think things are off, hold him accountable. If he's being inconsistent on some things, there's nothing wrong with you can stay in your feminine state and still hold him accountable in the way he's supposed to lead, because leaders are willing to be accountable for those things. So if I'm a real leader and you come to me and say, Carl, you haven't been consistent on this and this and this, I have to take a look in the mirror myself and say, you know what, you're right. I haven't. Let me fix that. See, leaders are about fixing things. Leaders are about teamwork. Leaders are about uplifting everybody and building and bringing everybody else along. And Ken said something about leaders have followers, but in order to be a leader too, you got to be able to be a follower. Mm-hmm. And see, that's a big problem for some people who don't know. They've never followed someone to learn how to lead. So if they've never seen it in their household, this is a plug for you ladies. If a man's never had a man in his household, a father figure in there, and watch someone lead, he's learning on the fly. He's learning on the fly. So those mistakes are going to happen. But would you rather a man who's trying to lead, not control, but trying to lead and try to do it the right way, or a man who's not going to take the lead? If you're fussing at a guy because he's trying, you're going to lose him. You're going to push him away. That goes back to that mothering versus nurturing. So understand the difference. But if you got a guy that's leading, thank him. Hey, I appreciate you making plans for us tonight and taking us here. I appreciate you booking that trip to Dubai, and just told me meet you at the airport and we'll get clothes when we get there. Hey, I appreciate you taking my car and getting it clean. All of that means something to that man. And trust me, the more you affirm him, the more he's going to do.
Yes, yeah. And I always state that, listen, ladies, first thing you want to notice, if he can't lead himself, he can't lead a relationship, right? Said we're going to take one. When we come back, it's about that time to have our Jerry Springer moment. So sit tight. This is DBDS Live. We'll be right back. Yes, welcome back to DBDS Live. I'm your host, Mel Money, here with my brother Carl, my brother Lemar, my brother Ken. And listen, this has been such an amazing show. It's about that time to have our Jerry Springer moment. Before doing so, listen, you can catch these entertaining and educational episodes on our YouTube channel. Please subscribe to DBDS Live. Just make sure you hit that subscription button so that way you can get these fierce conversations that we need to have. If you can't catch us, don't worry. Again, we on Amazon, we on Podbean, we on, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Make sure you check us out because we're there. We're everywhere. So listen, it's about that time. So first, I am coming to my brother Ken. Give the people who's watching your final thoughts for today's show.
First of all, I want to say thank you and thank Carl and my man Lemar for just doing what you guys do. And the fact is, whether people agree with you or not, they cannot disagree that you're empowering people. See, the truth is we always want us content creators, we want everybody to agree. I love it, the fact that everybody's got a take, and what you guys do is you stand by what you believe, and then and your message is for someone. And so I appreciate that. And what I will leave everyone with, and I've been in this vein in my group, is that many women are operating in their masculine energy too much. They're not balancing this masculine energy with the femininity. Their power, their strength comes in the femininity. And I often tell the story. I told the story the other night, y'all, of my mother. I wanted to play Little League football so bad. And I'll never forget, my friend Joel Davis was playing. And my dad, he didn't want to have to leave work, take me to practice and all that. So he was telling the wife, my mother, no, I just wait till he gets in high school, whatever, wait till he grows up. So my mama said, I was like, Mom and Dad won't let me play. My mom said this. She said, let me talk to you in the morning. Now, I don't know what the morning got to do with last night. So in the morning, my dad got up and said, son, I'll take you over there to register. Now I'm thinking to myself, what did mama do that night? That night, the day before, Daddy didn't want me to play Little League football. But that next morning, I'm getting registered. What I realized is what my mama realized a long time ago. She could influence him much more in her feminine energy than she ever could by saying, Raymond, you need to take that boy to register him. Well, years later, I got a football scholarship to North Carolina A&T. That's why I'm in North Carolina today, because my mama took one for the team in her feminine energy. So thank you, guys. I appreciate you, man.
Thank you too, brother. Thank you too, brother. Now I'm coming to my man Lemar. What are your final thoughts for today's show?
One, thank you for having me again. I appreciate you, Mel, Carl, Ken, man. Oh man, Ken, just Jim, just hearing the gems is just, that just had me just go like, man, yeah. There's some. I love being around positive and value, and I say that everybody that's watching is really writing down and applying it. There's one thing for us to do this for, an hour, and you don't apply it. Just take the time, one step, one day, to apply everything these gems that you got. So, to me, what I got from everything today is what I would tell one person is to take your time, patience. Have patience in your relationship. Have patience in your marriage. Just trust, have faith. If you don't have faith, you don't have nothing in a relationship. And then always put God in the middle of your relationship. Always. If you don't have God in the middle of your relationship, you have chaos. Your kids have chaos. Your finances have chaos. Your household have chaos. So as long as God, faith, patience is in that relationship and everything, I promise you, when you step out, you're going to know you don't need to be so aggressive to your man. A simple conversation. My tone. Is it the right time to have this conversation? Maybe it's not the right time. Maybe it's not, maybe my tone. Maybe I'm at 10. I need to make sure that I'm at 2. So I pray for you. I want you to have the best. And I thank you for listening to us tonight.
Very well said. Thank you, brother. And now I'm coming to my brother Carl. What are your final thoughts for today's show?
Lemar, Ken, awesome job, man. Appreciate being here with you guys. Wealth of knowledge. Even I picked up on some things, man. I definitely know you guys will be back again. Just a couple of quick things I want to touch on. Number one, if you're struggling to operate in your femininity, there are books out there. There are YouTube channels. There's all different types of things out there to help you with that. But I'm going to go a different direction. If you're in a relationship and you're struggling with that, and you say, well, it's because I've got to do this and this and this, communication. Sit down with your husband, your partner, and say, hey, I want to operate in my femininity, and this is why I'm struggling. Have a conversation with them. Tell them what you need. It's not about just what a man needs. It's you have needs just as much. Tell him, I want to be here so I can help you get here, but this is what I need. Have that conversation. There's nothing wrong with that, because that's you taking accountability. That's you knowing why you're struggling. If you don't know, you got to figure that out. I know it's difficult, and it's something that's new that's really come out and it's blowing up around everywhere. People talking about femininity, but I'm telling you, femininity is sexy. Femininity is going to win every single time. And I've got some sister friends that are six-figure earners, CEOs, HR directors, VPs, and you would think they were stay-at-home moms. They are so feminine, you have no idea what they do for a living. And they're in male-dominated fields, but they stay in their femininity 24/7, even in their workforce. And they get things done. And they said, because even at work, when I act feminine to those men, I get what I need to have done. That's powerful. So some women, you're choosing to stay in your masculinity as an excuse. But if you want to attract a masculine man, you can't be masculine. He's not gonna go with that. He's not gonna deal with that. Because a true masculine man is not gonna want to come home to masculinity. You're gonna force him to go and look somewhere else. So again, my sisters, I applaud those who commented today. The questions and different things, and pondering, looking at things. Do the research. Look up, like I said, read the books, reach out to people, get the help you need, because the only thing it's going to do is make you better. And if you're in a relationship, it's going to make your relationship better. Trust me, it's going to make your relationship better. And if you're looking for a relationship, it's going to make you more appealing, attractive, and it's going to open the door to multiple options. In your feminine state, you got more options. In your masculine state, you have less options. That's all I got, bro.
Very well said. And I'm going to be quick with my final thoughts. I just want to thank this amazing panel. My final thoughts is, remember, a good man appreciates a woman who is feminine and one who has standards and boundaries. And this simply means that you don't have to go by modern society's agenda to portray yourself superior or equal as your natural counterpart. Because the reality is, if your goal is to attract a mature masculine man who loves the fact that he's a man, you'll have a much easier time going along with nature rather than going against nature. All right. So once again, I just want to thank this amazing panel, and much love to the DBDS family.
Take it away, my brother Mel.